series between India and Sri Lanka is taking steps, and India, I don't know for how many months later, are trailing in an ODI series, a bilateral ODI series. We will have that coming up. If it's a tie, we will have a super over as well. But the white ball cricket is ongoing. We became world champions as well. But we cannot forget the beauty of cricket, the real one, which is the red ball cricket. I have Rohan with me. Rohan, welcome to the show. But today's topic is very interesting, Rohan. I thought a lot
Yeah,
about this topic, to be honest, and then I've come into who will be the successor of the legendary Ravichandran Ashwin. Someday or the other, that man will definitely keep his boots into the field and say it's time for goodbye. Into the top 10 rankings of the leading wicket takers as well. But who will be the successor is my main question. Firstly, you have watched him definitely more than me. How has Ash been as a red ball spinner?
top class. I mean, as you said, watched him since his debut in domestic cricket, and at that time, Harbhajan Singh was still going on for India strongly, and one of the top after Anil Bhai just retired. I think Bajji and Amit Mishra was there, and these guys were the ones who were taking the spin legacy forward. But someone like Ravichandran Ashwin, who was just coming through Tamil Nadu ranks, what the word that was going around at that time, I'm pretty sure if someone like Ash is hearing this, he will hear this word saying he's a bad wicket bowler. In that times, all those
Okay.
powdery wickets which were there in Chennai at that time, he can be good only on those kind of pitches. He'll pick you a 5 wicket haul or a 10 wicket in a match and win you the game. But once the pitch is flatten out, he may not be as potent, is what was the word going around. And due respect, once he debuted for India in that series against West Indies, the legendary series, where just before the after the World Cup, actually, he got married also in between that series. I remember that there in just after the Kolkata test, I think. He batted well at that time in Mumbai. There was a drawn test,
Yeah.
though the match score was level against West Indies. But after when he went to Australia, that was the real test for Ravichandran Ashwin, where he was built up as the next potent spin star on those flat wickets, especially with the Kookaburra ball. I think finger spinners, we do know lots of great spinners have struggled there. I think that's when it kind of hit him hard.
Yeah.
Yes, India lost that series 4-0, which we don't want to remember again. But that, I think, kind of was a hit back for him, saying what he lacked as a spinner. And over the years, we have seen him after that, almost a decade later too, we have seen the evolution of him. He has realized what not to do, or what to do at what point of time in a test match. Maybe on a day one you are a bit more defensive, but as the game progresses, maybe using the rough a little bit, or the angles, the pace trajectory, the variations he has. Yes,
Exactly.
he has a lot of variations, as we all know, like the carom ball and all lot. But in test cricket, it's more about being disciplined. Basically, so it's a boring kind of a game where you hold your cards close to your heart and then reveal it just when the batsman is not expecting. So that's what guile of a spinner is, especially for a finger spinner. Yes, as a leggy, maybe you have that a little extra leeway to have that little more margin of error. But for Ravichandran Ashwin to know his weakness and overcome, as you rightly said, to be among the top 10 wicket takers in the world cricket, that shows he has learnt it the hard way. So I mean, we are blessed to have someone like him who can bowl with the new ball at any time of the day or any time of a test match.
Correct.
He can be your match winner. So I think in this day and age of modern day cricket, along with Nathan Lyon, I think two formidable off spinners we have seen, and we are blessed to have someone like him playing for Team India at this stage.
Absolutely, that is the right thing you said. You said about bad wicket bowler. I still remember the story he always used to say in one of the podcasters now, that when Ashwin said about Virender Sehwag, you remember that
Yeah,
I used to bowl good deliveries to him. He used to smack
sweet.
me, but the bad deliveries I used to bowl, he used to get out. So what you think Ashwin has become? Has he made the off spin become a chess for him?
Definitely. I mean, as you said, once you get a setback in your career, that's when you learn a lot. I think those tours on outside Asia, where people started doubting him for not picking wickets, or even that test match I remember at Joburg against South Africa, where India was giving a target of 400 odd, and South Africa almost chased it on day five with ABD and Faf, etc., scored those runs. I think he was expected to run through the team and win you the test match, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, maybe he was not 100% fit enough that game or that day in particular. He wasn't able to deliver. And all these doubters, as you know, in our media, they love to build it up and bring a player down as well. The I mean, end of the day, it kind of you have that self doubt also as a player. Am I really good enough outside Asia? And that's when someone like a Jaddu was being looked at as a possible replacement, especially overseas, if there is only one spinner. So I think all those challenges he has overcome. I remember that series against England on the day one at Edgbaston, I think, where
Yeah,
Virat kind of handled James Anderson that series. I think Ash gave you those early wickets with a Duke's ball. It's not easy. We have seen there it does swing, but for a finger spinner to pick up a 3-4 wickets on day one and set the tone for India for that series, I think that was commendable. And I remember after day one, he came out and gave that flash interview to the Sky Sports and revealed a lot of his tricks. And the management was not happy with his interview, but he said that he kind of gave half truth and half kind of held it back. But people don't believe it because his ability is such that he can do what he may say, and what he doesn't say also he may not reveal. So that's the greatness of the man, also of his craft
exactly.
that he has. And I think that's when the 2017 onwards, uh, even away tours, I think Ravichandran Ashwin has shown time and again. I remember in Australia, those two Border Gavaskar Trophy we won. I think there was significant contribution of Ashwin. I remember at MCG when he got Steven Smith out at
Exactly. I was
leg
about
side.
to come to that. That was also an opening day, and he
Yeah,
got
that was also
MC.
an opening day. And that's where I think we saw that like we weren't thinking Ashwin as a holding bowler at day one, but a wicket taking bowler as well, just like the greats of the game we have seen like Shane Warne, etc. But again, they are all leggies. But for an off spinner and Asian spinner to be as threatening and wicket taking on opening day of an overseas test match, I think that kind of gave a special joy to all of us.
Absolutely, and most of the batters always used to acknowledge him, saying that he's such a wonderful player, a wonderful spinner. We always have trouble. We'd over the wicket, we'd around the wicket. I remember in Indian conditions, sometimes used to bowl over the wicket and get David Warner, Phil Hughes bowled from behind the stump. So they were iconic days, but this is the figures, this is the statistics of Ravichandran Ashwin so far till date. Let's hope he makes a minimum of 200 innings under his belt. But 516 test wickets, 36 5 wickets hauled, 8 10 wickets hauled. The stats define everything about it.
A lot more. I think Pritham, I think you're forgetting that he was a man of the series in 7 or 8 series also. So that shows he's a
If I
series
would,
winner for us as well. So I think apart from I think Sachin Paji, I think he's pretty much close to that for the Indian record or the world record as well. I feel so. I think that shows once he picks you wickets, he's winning you test matches and quickly as well. As you rightly said, being from over the wicket or around the wicket with the new ball as well. Again, not an
yeah,
easy trade for a spinner to bowl with the new ball as effectively. We've seen him in the IPL, etc., before his test debut, where he used to do that job for CSK. But I think graduating to test match level, bowling that new hard ball and picking wickets consistently. I think if you go by the stats, in the first 10 overs of a test match in an opening bowler, I think he's one of the highest wicket takers in Asia,
absolutely.
albeit being a spinner. So I think that shows his class. And I'm really happy that over the years, that 500 odd wickets is a test of hard work. Yes, you have seen him a little bit injured here and there, maybe not 100%. Despite all that, to keep on coming back and performing day in day out. Yes, he used to play a lot of white ball cricket at that time as well in between. But after that CT 2017 debacle that we had in that final, I think he was phased out and the Kulcha team came in. But still,
Yeah,
we saw recently in the TNPL as well, he's reinvented himself as a batter. And even with this bowling, we have seen all
batting
those
so high up the order.
and consistently getting runs, the kind of runs. I mean, Ash, we have seen being a taller kind of a person. He used to hit straight down the ground pretty well. We've seen him switch hits, reverse sweeps, which is not unlike him. That shows he's willing to get better. I mean, albeit he's 37, 38 now almost, still trying to improve his game. That's what I think for the youngsters nowadays. It shows that you should not be satisfied with whatever you achieved so far. You need to grow up, keep getting better, because even the opposition will start planning for your skill sets as well. Only when you evolve, that's when you get better and stay relevant at this day and age in all formats. And for someone like Ravichandran Ashwin to be relevant all formats, even at this point of time, I think he'll not do a very bad job even if you put him in a T20 as well. Now we've seen him in the World Cup, T20 World Cup, last World Cup. I think he was pretty good in the Australian conditions as there as well. So I think, and who can forget that the way he left that wide when Virat played that
That
two
has to be the
scorchers.
iconic moment
So
of his
that shows
career.
he is very cool under pressure as well. To do that, that shows your temperament as well. So I think all these factors, I think we are blessed to have someone like him, an intelligent cricketer who is amidst all, because he sometimes get misquoted or misinterpreted as well, because he comes out a bit more open at times, aggressive in a different sense, all those monkading and whatnot. He has stayed within the rules. Yes, it may not look good for
Yeah,
certain section, but he's right, and he's shown
absolutely.
what
That's
is
in the
right.
law of the game. Yeah,
Yes, he has shown what is the laws and what is right in the game to everyone to come to know and discuss. I think only when such things happen, people learn the intricacies of the game. So for him to dwell on it and think about it and execute it under high pressure situation, that shows he has those guts also to do it and carry it with that swagger as well. I think people forget that as a captain also he's done decently for this TNPL team. Earlier we have seen him in the Punjab team as well in the IPL, but maybe didn't get so much credit because of the results. But he's a very thinking player and supports a lot of his junior players, especially domestic guys. I think that's where you need to transfer your knowledge as well and help the upcoming generations to move on. I think so. I think this relevant question that you asked, I think the best person to answer this will be Ash himself, if he can find a better successor for his craft that he develops.
that would be like I must say that would be impossible to find. But he's such a legend. A couple of more instances, I think. He also bowled the final over in the 2013 Champions Trophy
Champions
as well.
Trophy. Yeah.
Despite it was tailenders on the England side, but he had to hold his nerve and bowl brilliantly out there. He said in one of the podcasts as well, Virat Kohli said so many shots in the book in that wide delivery that only to show that nobody will do that apart from it would have been Ash. Down the leg side, if anybody else, he would have swept it for
Yep.
maybe
Yeah.
a four behind the square leg. But he left it just to say that. Then his body language changed, only to say that now I cannot lose it from here. So that shows the calm and composed with the bat, with the ball, what Ashwin plays. He himself said, I could have been a better batsman batting higher up the order. But if you have to speak of Ashwin in Asian conditions, Rohan, you have to speak about the other person. Ravindra Jadeja, Ravi Ashwin, what a duo this was, has been currently as well, Touchwood, in Asian conditions. Deadly duo. If you look into the stats, if Ashwin is there, Jadeja has to be there in Indian conditions.
Yeah, they kind of what do you call? They're both opposite. Like the one turns it into the right hand, other spins it away. So they're a good combination, because if there is generally the opposition may counter with a right hand, a left hand combination. But these guys are there to even kind of outdo the thing or outthink the opposition strategies as well. And Jaddu also we have seen he can also bowl with the new ball, and strength of Jaddu is accuracy, stump to stump. You know, you miss, he's gonna hit you or wrap you on the patch and
Exactly.
get you those balls. And of course he can spin it a long way, but the slider, the arm ball to get you out bowl a stump, I think that's where the real strength of Jadeja is, bowling on those flat surfaces in Rajkot. I think his what do you call, the complete practice sessions whatever he would have had as a youngster, I think once the ball starts gripping even an inch, we know Jaddu is your match winner straight away, because Ash
Absolutely.
has to impart that amount of overspin or side spin, but Jaddu will keep on hitting that area, someone turn, all those natural variations. He's more deadly because he'll keep coming at you at that same pace, because he's quicker than Ash, flatter. You can't charge down the track to hit him. Unlike maybe Ash, if he gives a little bit of flight, you can hit him over the top. But Jadeja is almost impossible to hit you straight down the ground, and he doesn't give. He's very economical, so he gives you that control as well. And at times we have seen where someone like Ashwin will be attacking and Jadeja hold the fort, and or
Yeah,
else vice versa as well. So that's we have seen the greats like Ambrose and Walsh or Anderson or Broad. When they operate in tandem, the opposition has absolutely nowhere to go. And these two guys in Asian conditions are absolutely kingmakers. They'll win you or run
absolutely.
through a team completely in a session, definitely. So both
Absolutely.
of them, and again as you had shown in the earlier one, both of them are handy batters as well, man, all rounders. Especially in Asian conditions, they'll give you a pretty much a 50 runs addition straight away. And decent fielders as well. Jaddu, we all know the rocket arm that he
Oh,
has.
what a
Ash is
fielder
a
he
pretty
is. Yeah.
safe fielder. So I think as a combination, these two, it's like we are playing with plus two straight away. It's 11 team game, but suddenly we are playing with 13, it feels, because an extra batter, extra bowler straight away. And all those lower order runs in Indian conditions where it can be low scoring, those can be actually your difference makers to win your game. So again, these two guys, we are seeing the stats with the ball, but if you add on to the run scoring as well, I think as a totality package, I think these are completely our match winners.
Absolutely. I'll come to that. I have that for you, but I'll come to that very soon. But you said about Asian conditions. If you look into 32, 5 wickets all, 10 wickets all. On the other hand, Jaddu as well, he's not less. It's 12 5 wicket hauls, 1 10 wicket haul. So they have been deadly, as you said, in Asian conditions. What about Ashwin outside Asia, especially in Siena condition? Outside Asia, we see 54 innings, 149 wickets, one shot of 150. But the numbers itself also looks very impressive outside India.
Yeah, if you see that, if you break it down also, Preetham, maybe the first half and the second half, if you take it as a 5 6 year period, I think the later half he has actually get on better, picking up wickets even in Australia, West Indies, even South Africa has that matter. I think he has done pretty well. We saw in the WTC final as well at against the
Exactly.
first WTC final, he was the one who was looking actually wicket taking, not your the seamers. Even in windy conditions or colder climes of Southampton that was there, Ashwin was
Yeah.
the guy who was picking you more wickets, and New Zealanders were a bit struggling against him than even someone like a quality of a Jasprit Bumrah. So I think that shows, irrespective of the conditions, I think Ashwin has evolved to make sure that his skill sets are matched to the conditions on offer as well as the opposition batters. You can see how he is outthinking a lot, or sometimes obsessed with a certain batter, how to get him out. I mean, in this era, we actually call upon the Fab Four: Virat,
Yeah.
Williamson, Smith, and Joe Root. We can see the greatness of Ashwin by how many times he has dismissed these guys, a Smith or a Root or a Williamson. I think that kind of sets the other team immediately on the back foot. So he's actually targeting their main batters a lot more. He knows once they are out, Indian team is always ahead in that particular game. So that bowling psyche that he has to target, because we have seen the reverse happen when the opposition is to target someone like a Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli,
Yeah.
and we as Indians would be like, "Arey yaar, we lost a big wicket. Who's gonna do the damage coming forward?" But when we do it, suddenly we are like, "Okay, now we have the game in our control." So when someone like Ashwin is doing that, we are not realizing the value that is giving to you as an overall team or that particular game or a series. So these kind of things are kind of taken in a background a lot more. The batters get the accolades, but you're, as Gambhir used to say, the bowlers are the ones who actually keep winning the
Correct.
championships. So this, I mean, you saw 32 5 wicket hauls. If you take it
Yeah.
as the equivalent to a century, that's 32 hundreds in about 100 odd games, man. That's like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 ratio. That's extraordinary, right? In this age, it's not easy. So we need to value your bowlers as well. Being a spinner, some message the conditions that are getting you wickets, but no, boss, you need to put it in the right. Why aren't the overseas spinners coming and getting the same amount of success? Not much, right? Why are these guys? Because they're quality enough and they know how to. I mean, even if a little assistance
Exactly.
is there in the pitch, they maximize the damage, but it doesn't mean on a flat pitch these guys can't. There'll be the same threatening line. Maybe they'll vary around the wicket or something, but they'll make things happen. And once they sense that amount of opening, they'll run through you.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. I must tell you, Duan. And that's the reason why he's such a deadly bowler, a very, very smart cricketer. And that's the reason why. Do you think, one more thing, is it going to be a no brainer if India and Australia meet in the World Test Championship final 2025? His name will right be on the day on the playing 11.
Hope so. I mean, I don't want again that it's cloudy and rainy and only one spinner has to play, four seamers has to play. I feel your best bowlers have to play, irrespective. They will adapt to the conditions, and these guys can bat as well. You don't want a seamer who is a
Exactly.
pretty much a rabbit at the bat and contribute to none and go about four and over in this cricket and let go of that initiative. He will do a job. He won't give you the easy runs for sure. He'll bowl economically. The other guys can do the damage as well. So I think you need to put your best bowlers in there wherever you play that game. I don't know. With the, I mean, Lords is what I think the
Highly
final
likely
is,
to be
right?
at Lords. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have seen Lord's pitch does offer turn on the last couple of days, definitely. So who knows, man? Give them a chance. That's when they can showcase your skill, right? Rather than keep hypothesizing what who's gonna do what not.
Yeah.
You give them, you put them in the deep end. That's when they start swimming, right?
Absolutely, that's 100% right. So we will see that, but hopefully this time we get to see Ashwin in the playing 11. But talk us about Ashwin, the batter, and that's where you wanted to speak about. And that's, I think, this is also stats say a lot of things about him. 3,000 plus runs over 141 innings, average of 26 for someone who's batting at number 7 or sometimes at number 8. high score of 124. Probably it was at the Eden Gardens, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe
Yeah.
somebody somewhere else. 50, 14 50s and 500s. So he's not less.
No, I mean, just because of the numbers, you are missing out some handy lower 30 or 40 runs in the lower order at times, which are very crucial in Asian conditions, which can be difference maker. I remember this test recently, I think the last WTC cycle against Bangladesh, which was a very low
Yeah.
scoring second innings
He
case. I think
chased
he
it
and
out. Yeah.
Shreyas
That's
chased
a
it
year.
out. Yeah, I mean, due respect, Shreyas is a accomplished batter, but more than him, Ash was easily playing the spinners on the front foot, negotiating
Correct.
the turn and bounce much more easily. That shows he has enough experience and how to kind of adapt to that particular pitch and conditions. And once Ash came in, I think that made Iyer job also easier, and that partnership went on and won us that game. Similarly, I
Correct.
remember a test in Chennai when England won that first test. Second test, Ash came and got 100 at his home ground, pick up a few wickets as well. But I think Virat was there with him
Yeah.
initially, and then lower order runs he contributed. Mohammad Siraj was there and they end
Mohammad
celebrating. I
Siraj.
think though a lot of
I
heartbeats were
was
racing.
about to bring it to you, but you said it. Mohammad Siraj was there. Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. All those moments when you get those, yeah, milestones, yes, it's more memorable. But we can't forget that some crucial runs that added here and there, which were much more vital and took you a step forward in your WTC cycle as well. I think all those things also matter a little bit in the end. So as you see, 26 average, it may look slightly lesser comparatively with in terms of his ability that he has. He can easily be a 30 plus batter at times, but
Correct.
maybe didn't have the backing of the lower order enough, so he had to throw his bat around and maybe lost a few times his wicket. But doesn't matter. End of the day, stats are there, but your impact that you have on the team, I think that's more significant. It shows by your 1450s and 500s. It knows you batting at number 7 or 6 or 8, down the order with not much
Yep.
batting behind you, still getting those runs means there's some quality. And even
Absolutely.
outside Asia, he scored a lot of runs because maybe he's a taller guy. That pace and bounce
Could
helps him
be.
play off the back foot much more comfortably. In Australia, has got runs against England. He has got runs. So again,
Sydney,
yeah,
talk
Pradeep.
us through that game where he drew it alongside Hanuma Vihari.
That's legendary, right? I mean, people do remember the test after, but the Gaba
The one
happened
before,
because of the Sydney save, is what I always say with Vihari, and both of them injured. One Ash was with a pretty bad
playing the
back, and
spinners
Vihari
and
with
the
a
other one
hamstring.
playing the Pacers.
See that again, that smartness, right? You know what's your strength and weakness, which kind of bowling that you can play, and the other one is struggling, so you kind of managed it so well. And again, as I said, that 20 or 30 runs he made, it might not show up on your statistics here, but the impact that had of saving
It's
that
huge.
Sydney test and
Absolutely.
giving that one opportunity that we can go ahead and win that series, which the other was capitalized with Rishabh and Shubman, etc. But giving that opportunity, if Sydney hadn't happened, I'm definitely, and can tell you, Gaba may not have happened, right? So all those
Absolutely.
contributions, though little bit, they play a significant part in your end result. So his batting is acumen in terms of as a bowling unit, his suggestions, his ideas, which a lot of them hear about, because he's called like a scientist and whatnot by the group there. I remember like some Chaha, Sanju, all these guys refer to him in those, because he gives you so many ideas. Even the bowling coach, someone like Bharat Arun, used to say Ashwin gives his own inputs and stuff like that. So those background things that happen, that's what makes you
Correct.
a better cricketer, helping your
Absolutely.
colleagues. I think those things also are not shown much, but maybe interprets in a wrong way, because as he comes out a bit more louder, but his impact within the dressing room is also equally huge, I feel.
Absolutely, you said it about this. And if you talk about impacts, this is the list. This is the current test career list for all these 10 players out here. Some of them, most of them are retired, but couple of Indians can be seen at number 9, Ravichandran Ashwin at 516 wickets. I think one innings against Bangladesh, or maybe one test match, will get him surpass the gate Courtney Walsh out here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a passing walls in this particular series is a definite option. But moving forward, where would you like to see him? Definitely past Anil Bhai to be a great spin. I think he himself acknowledged him and wished him that if he gets past, he'll be pretty happy and satisfactory that someone from his own
India.
neighboring land, kind of got past him. I think 619 is a huge number in Indian cricket. If someone
Still
gets to,
103.
yeah, it's possible, right? About a couple of years of test cricket and this day age where lots of wickets are bowler friendly, you can pick up those wickets in about 15 20 test matches max, right? Five a game, that's quite possible. And I'm sure, I mean, milestones or records are secondary, but winning games for India, I think is what matters to him, or the series as well. I think the overall essence that he has brought in for someone from Asia as a finger spinner to pick so many wickets, because you have seen a lot of them in our
Yeah.
like Harbhajan. We saw Murali Karthik was pretty decent as a finger spinner, but unfortunately didn't get many games. All others like your Kumble or a Mishra, all were leggies. Of course, there's a great Bhagwat Chandrasekhar as well. But if you go just prior to him, it was the great Erapalli Prasanna, who was the better of the off spinners in that day and age. Even he picked about 189 wickets. So it's not easy bowling finger spin, especially in Asian conditions. At those days were pretty flat and absolute no purchases. You had to put your and no LBWs as well, no DRS. So I think that kind of helped a lot as well. So, but adapting to the given situation is what he's been great, because the great Muralidharan, we saw amount of overs he has toiled to get those 800 wickets, or even the late Shane Keat Vaughan.
Yeah.
I think those two guys were magicians with the ball. But apart from them, if you see, all are all seamers. Only Nathan Lyon maybe blessed to be bowling in that
Yeah.
kind of quartet that he has.
Another
But
legend for
as
Australia.
yeah, Nathan Lyon, I think bowling in Australia with that Kookaburra again speaks volumes
Very
to his
tough,
skill.
but the way he bowls, it's phenomenal to be honest. But that's the reason why I was just checking out. James Anderson was just 4 to 5 wickets away from getting the second rank, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, he has also hung his boots. So very, very good names out here, legendary names. Let's hope Ashwin at least surpasses Glenn McGrath, then maybe closer to Stuart Broad as well. Rohan hopes to be closer to Anil Kumble as well. Fingers crossed, we'll be proud of that. But the topic really was this: who will be the successor of Ravichandran Ashwin? I have two names only, because the topic is who will be the right arm off spinner one. That's the reason why Jayant Yadav, Washington Sundar are the two names with the first class statistics out here. What's your point on these two? Is there any other name you want to refer to?
To begin with, Pritham, I feel someone like Jayant Yadav, he's been a decent batter as well, similar to the Ashwin mold. We have seen he has got
Yeah,
100 against England at Wankhede about few seasons ago. He's a decent bowler, but again, his skill set bowling outside Asia or in the second Sena countries, I think that will be a more challenging tough for him. And also the age factor, may I'm not sure if he's
could
the
be.
best side of 30 as well. So if you look at an younger option, someone like Washi has the credentials, he has the height as well to what Ash has, but again, how he can adapt, because in the recent series against Sri Lanka, we saw he's bowling over the wicket, around the wicket, getting players beaten in the air to pick up his wickets, not those flat darts trying to
Correct.
contain, which we used to
And
see a
that's
old
where his
Washi.
height could be a very good advantage.
Huge advantage, because he'll get that extra bounce as well to get the bat hit high up on the bat to get those mistime catches. So I think that's where I think
Yeah,
he's evolving. But for me, for Washi to succeed, he has to play a lot of red ball cricket in the domestic circuit, and I think that's where even if he gets hit doesn't matter, because some of the players in the local are pretty good players of spin. We should not judge him based on those batters credential, but maybe how in international circuit he may feel much more better. So I think Washi has the credentials, but how well he can improve or even get some tutorial with Ashwin, I think that will help being a statement. But apart from these two, I feel if you just look at a successor for Ashwin, even someone like Kuldeep Yadav, though he may be a left-arm Chinaman spinner, he can also be a equally potent option for India moving forward, because we have seen him in red ball cricket nowadays. He has improved his
yeah,
speed through the air and beating people in the air as well. A couple of those dismissals of Butler recently, or even a Babar
yeah.
Azam, which is legendary. I think we know he has got the drift and dip and all the skill set of a very good spinner. Yes, he's a wrist spinner, so I think even overseas he can be
Could
your
be.
potent option. Yeah, batting may be still susceptible to equal to even a Jaddu or a Ash, but at least he can hang in there. So I think all these three options, as you mentioned, Jayant Yadav, Washi Sundar, and even Kuldeep, I think Akshar Patel is someone else we can add on to that.
Akshar
So
could be a backup of Ravindra Jadeja, is what I'm saying.
definitely. So we have all these options covered. It's just that maybe in the youngest lot, you're under 19 or not, who are your upcoming finger off spinners? I think that's where people will be looking at who is your better options to develop them, because straight away, as finger spinners, they are not be mature enough to come into a national team setup. They may need 4 5 years in the domestic grind, and
Yep,
then play a tour or somewhere, and then get noticed, because IPL performances cannot be your sole criteria, because
absolutely.
red ball cricket is completely different. Your test
That's
of patience comes
absolutely
in.
different. Yeah. And that's
Yes.
the favorite format for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you. But that
Yeah.
sums it up. We have given you three options: two right arm off spinner, one left arm Chinaman. We all know Kuldeep Yadav. We'll see that. Thank you so much, Rohan. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. Is the legendary Ravichandran Ashwin still our best off spinner, the best spinner behind Anil Kumble, who was a leggy, but still. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you to all the viewers for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. So thank you so much, and bye bye.